Starseeds and Their Problems, Part 4, Money Issues. Hello again, thank you for joining me here once more. I am Mari Swaruu. This is the fourth part of a series about the problems starseeds, lightworkers, and woken people face while living on Earth. Although those three may be a little different from one another, I will be referring to the three of them simply as starseeds. After all, we are all starseeds anyway. Money has always been difficult to make or to obtain, no secret there. But starseeds and people with a similar mentality face certain extra challenges that make money even more difficult. The first challenge they face is the most obvious one. Starseeds simply cannot fit into a social structure that is so extremely different from their frequency and vibration. It makes them sick and it makes them naturally want to run away from the very concept of fitting into a social role. So, simple normal jobs most people simply take for granted that must be done, and accept as a part of life are completely impossible to accept for starseeds. They will not conform nor accept a so-called 9-to-5 normal job, as an accountant, or as a secretary in a little sterile cubicle in a government or a company, as they feel it is nothing other than slavery, and if a starseed for whatever reason ends up in such a kind of job, they will feel as if their very life is being drained away, and they will do anything they can to escape from it. They will stare out the window wishing they would be anywhere else, including at the corner they are watching from that window, anywhere except at their desk, surrounded with papers that are completely meaningless to them. To make things worse, advanced souls, starseeds and people with similar mentalities cannot stand irrational and disrespectful bosses who like to push their employees around as if they would have the right to denigrate them just because it is their job to be their superiors, or because they are paying them some meager salary. Starseeds cannot stand injustice, and they are highly allergic to all kinds of abuse, to them or to whomever they perceive to be vulnerable or at a disadvantage, be it people or animals, who are just more people anyway, just simply of another species. No normal good-hearted person can stand those circumstances, but starseeds do take this to an extreme because they literally rather die than be there in those circumstances any longer. This results in starseeds not being able to sustain a normal job, preferring to find alternative ways to survive, which many times include living in their parents' basement for decades, after they have reached adulthood. A starseed also tends to live in his or her fantasy world, in order to escape the so-called real world and the social responsibilities they so strongly resist to assume and accept. This even as a mere survival mechanism, their family most often does not have the capacity to understand. For a starseed to survive and thrive, it must be able to make money out of something, some activity he or she loves to do, or at least enjoys, because they do have a strong tendency to run away from normal jobs. The problem is that society on Earth is not designed for people to be able to make money from things that they love and enjoy. The whole culture on Earth is designed to exploit the people in the name of company efficiency and profit. Small business is always under some kind of attack, as well as entrepreneurship. Governments who are at the service of big brands and companies simply make it very difficult for them to survive. An art has little value for the economic machine unless the authors are associated somehow with society's controllers, via secret societies and organizations, that dictate what is sociably accepted, what art and which authors will be successful, and which others will not. Then starseeds and people with similar mentality will face another problem, the demonization of monetizing their work, art, and anything they have to offer because society has been programmed to see those things as if they were of a lesser value and that ought to be given for free. This is especially the case with anything that has to do with spirituality, healing, herbal and natural healing, UFOs and extraterrestrials. As I've mentioned before, all the large spiritual groups as well as those who research anything that has to do with unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrials are heavily infiltrated, guided or were developed intentionally by three-letter agencies, or religious groups and organizations, with the clear intention and mission to control that kind of information and the perception of the larger public with it as well. And one of the very first things those people who control them will do is demonize other people who make any money out of those spiritual subjects, to monopolize all those subjects so all the money flows to them and their organizations. Throughout the years, those large socially accepted New Age organizations have pushed the idea that money should not be associated with spirituality. And they have also strongly associated the idea that if someone is making a profit out of some form of spiritual activity, even more, if it has anything to do with extraterrestrials, then automatically it must be false. They have managed to imprint into the mind of the public that money and profit are directly associated with false information, as in, if there is any money in the mix, then it ought to be false. This is because they associate making money as the primary motivation and goal of any such spiritual activity, and not with the value and veracity of the information, or of the activity in itself, spiritual healing, for example. They immediately associate extraterrestrials with a money-making scam and hoax, and they associate spiritual healing with psychology malpractice, and herbal healing with medical malpractice, because society has been programmed to think that only sociably accepted institutions, such as universities, are the only ones who hold the ultimate truth. Therefore, anyone who does not hold a college degree would not hold the necessary knowledge to practice any profession that needs a license. This again is monopolizing not only the information, but also the truth itself. And all for economic monopoly purposes, and for population control, of course. Society's controllers through their propaganda machines and their heavily infiltrated and controlled New Age movement, have managed to program in the mind of the larger public that such subjects such as extraterrestrial messages, herbal, and traditional healing, spirituality and personal improvement, channeled messages, and many other similar topics should be given for free. This will make survival very difficult for starseeds and lightworkers, as they will not be able to make money with their innate abilities and attributes, forcing them to accept a normal slavery-type job. This will also cause starseeds at the end of their day not to have any energy left to be able to practice their higher spiritual skills. With this, the controllers of the Matrix on Earth limit the capacity and the influence of starseeds and lightworkers can have on the larger public, as they effectively control and limit their capacity with money. It is a challenge to be on Earth as a starseed, and to be able to figure out a way to survive and thrive making money out of what they love to do, and out of their highly advanced and misunderstood starseed abilities and attributes, but it is what they must work to achieve. It is part of their spiritual mission on Earth. On Earth, a day has only 24 hours, and each person will also have a limited amount of energy per day and lifetime. If what they have to offer is of value to other people, then it should be compensated with a monetary value, which will help ensure that the starseed who is offering its skills can continue to do so. If the starseed or light worker can offer their services for free, it will be their choice depending on the circumstances, as there is nothing wrong with that either. Money is just a form of energy, but even the starseeds and the light workers themselves tend to associate money with evil things, slavery and exploitation, with this effectively driving it away from their lives as it most often holds a negative association. Starseeds end up not being a vibratory match with wealth, which results in them remaining poor and incapable of developing their innate skills and fulfilling their self-imposed mission on Earth. This is made even worse when starseeds remember or realizes that money is not necessary for advanced civilizations such as the ones that have a holistic society system with no economy needed, as there are vast resources that are enough for everyone. So they may have a natural resistance to money. But while on Earth, or while depending on Earth, money is necessary, whether you like it or not, and there is nothing wrong with it. What is wrong is how it is being used and abused as a social control mechanism. Money is not the root of all evil, how it has been used is. Money can create suffering and pain, therefore it is easy to associate it with danger, but it doesn't have to be that way. It is a tool to get things done, and it can do as much harm as it can do good, depending on who is using it. The real problem is not money in itself. It is who and how it is being used, and what for. The problem with money is humanity and its priorities, what has value and what does not. There will be a time when humanity spiritually evolves past the need to use money in their society, but right now, it is necessary. Use it for good, and attract it accepting that you deserve to have it, and that in your hands it cannot ever be evil, as you will only use it for necessary and good purposes. If money would be removed from humanity at this point in its spiritual evolution, they would simply develop some other way or system to continue doing exactly what they have always been doing. Money in the hands of advanced souls is at best as it can be used. Thank you for watching my video and for liking and subscribing. Be very well, my friends, be happy and be wealthy. With much love. Your friend, Mari Swaruu.